and we're not allowed to.
Get out of my face right now.
Some physical contact.
Suddenly Amish. Who is Matt? A complete profile. The complete story of Matt, a comprehensive spoiler guide. Suddenly Amish. Who is Matt and why his journey matters? Matt is one of the 6 non-Amish participants featured on the TLC reality series Suddenly Amish. The show premiered in January 2026 and follows a group of individuals who temporarily leave modern life behind to live within an Amish community in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The series explores how each person adapts to the community's strict cultural norms, daily routines, and spiritual framework. Personal background. Matt is a 34-year-old father from Texas. He is described in official cast information as a newly divorced dad seeking a spiritual reset and an opportunity to rebuild his life on stronger values. His motivation for joining the show focuses more on introspection and personal growth than entertainment or fame. Social media profiles associated with his appearance on the series indicate that Matt currently works as an elementary school librarian and is a father to 2 children. He entered Suddenly Amish with the intention of finding grounding and clarity after the upheaval of his recent divorce. Role on Suddenly Amish. In promotional material and official press descriptions, Matt is introduced as a participant with a rugged yet vulnerable side. His storyline is framed around his desire to pursue deeper meaning, stability, and spiritual grounding through immersion in Amish life. As part of the show's format, Matt and the other participants must relinquish modern conveniences such as phones, electricity, and social media and adapt to a disciplined daily routine rooted in manual labor, community worship, and traditional Amish customs. Developments and departure from the Amish community. A significant development in Matt's storyline occurs during the early episodes of the series. Published spoilers and preview coverage reveal that one of the Amish hosts escorts Matt off the Amish property and removes him from the community. This decision is portrayed as stemming from the community's interpretation of its religious norms concerning divorce. Amish tradition generally does not recognize divorce in the same way as modern secular society, and in the context of the show this becomes a point of conflict. The scenes depicting Matt's departure show him being asked to leave the community, which is presented as a pivotal and emotional moment for the other cast members. Fellow participant Kendra is shown reacting with visible distress at his exit, and other participants express surprise or disagreement with how the situation unfolds. Audience and cultural reaction. Online discussions and viewer responses to Matt's storyline reflect broader conversations about how Suddenly Amish portrays traditional Amish beliefs and cultural norms. Some viewers have speculated about the implications of Matt's divorce for his participation in Amish community life, especially in light of the rules around remarriage and church membership. Others have debated the authenticity of the show's portrayal of Amish people and practices. These discussions have appeared on social media and fan forums since the episodes began airing. Summary. Matt's participation in Suddenly Amish is defined by several key public points. He is a 34-year-old divorced father from Texas seeking spiritual clarity and personal renewal. His motivation for joining the experiment was grounded in a desire to find stability and values-based living following his recent life changes. During the series, he temporarily lives within an Amish community, adapting to daily routines and traditions. Mid-season developments show him being removed from the Amish community due to the way his divorce was interpreted within the group's cultural framework. This profile reflects verified information available online, combining official press releases, cast descriptions, and spoilers reported by entertainment news sources. Matt, a 34-year-old divorced father from Texas, emerges on TLC's Suddenly Amish as one of the series' most grounded and emotionally restrained participants. Unlike other cast members drawn by curiosity, rebellion, or reinvention, Matt enters the Amish experiment from a place of quiet personal disruption. His motivation is not escape, but stabilization. Recently divorced, Matt carries the psychological weight of a life structure that collapsed without spectacle. He does not express bitterness or resentment toward his former marriage. Instead, his emotional state is defined by self-examination, guilt, and concern about how instability may affect his child. Fatherhood remains his central identity and primary decision-making lens throughout the series. Professionally, Matt presents as reliable and duty-driven rather than ambitious or status-orientated. His sense of self is rooted in responsibility and consistency, values that align naturally with Amish culture. He responds positively to structured labor, clear authority, and predictable routines, finding relief in an environment that reduces ambiguity and personal choice. Matt adapts quickly to Amish life. He embraces physical work, respects instruction, and avoids conflict. Within the group, he functions as a stabilizing presence, often listening more than speaking and de-escalating tension rather than contributing to it. His interactions with Amish hosts are marked by realism rather than romanticization, earning trust without suggesting conversion. Spiritually, Matt approaches Amish faith with curiosity rather than certainty. He does not pursue emotional transformation or public declarations of belief. Instead, he views faith as a framework for accountability, humility, and moral discipline, particularly as it relates to being a better father and role model. As the season progresses, Matt confronts a defining limitation of Amish life: permanence. While he deeply values its structure and clarity, he recognizes that full immersion is incompatible with modern parental responsibilities, legal obligations, and his child's future. This realization does not lead to disillusionment, but to integration. By the end of the experiment, Matt does not leave transformed into someone new. He leaves clarified. He identifies which Amish principles, routine, simplicity, accountability, and community can be meaningfully applied to his modern life without abandoning reality. Narratively, Matt serves as the emotional anchor of Suddenly Amish. His storyline grounds the series in responsibility, realism, and long-term thinking. Rather than dramatizing identity loss or cultural rebellion, his journey illustrates a quieter truth: meaningful change does not require escape, only alignment. Matt's experience represents a mature portrayal of post-divorce masculinity, one focused on repair rather than reinvention, discipline rather than performance, and stability rather than spectacle. His story reinforces the show's deeper theme. Cultural immersion can inspire reflection, but sustainable growth comes from integration, not withdrawal. Introduction: understanding Matt's place in reality television. In the landscape of reality television, where drama and conflict typically drive narratives, TLC's Suddenly Amish introduces viewers to Matt, a 34-year-old divorced father from Texas whose presence defies conventional expectations. Unlike typical reality show participants who seek fame, reinvention, or escapist adventures, Matt enters the Amish experiment from a place of genuine emotional need and practical purpose. His journey represents something increasingly rare in unscripted television: authentic personal reflection without performative drama. Matt's participation in Suddenly Amish centers around his search for stability following a recent divorce. As a father navigating the complexities of co-parenting and personal reconstruction, he approaches Amish life not as cultural tourism, but as a potential framework for restoring order to his disrupted existence. This comprehensive spoiler article examines every aspect of Matt's journey, from his initial motivations through his complete character arc, revealing how his experience ultimately reshapes his understanding of structure, faith, masculinity, and fatherhood. Who is Matt? Background and life before the experiment: personal history and Texas roots. Matt is introduced as a Texas native whose adult life followed a traditional American masculine pathway. His identity was constructed around conventional markers of stability: marriage, steady employment, and devoted fatherhood. Nothing in his background suggests rebellion, instability, or unconventional life choices. Instead, Matt represents millions of Americans who build their lives on assumed permanence, the belief that commitment, hard work, and traditional values will naturally produce lasting security. His professional life, while not extensively detailed in the series, reflects someone who is orientated toward consistency rather than ambition. Matt does not define himself through career achievement or status seeking. Instead, his work identity centers on reliability and provision. He presents as someone accustomed to showing up, completing tasks and meeting obligations without requiring recognition or advancement. This orientation toward duty over desire becomes crucial in understanding his compatibility with Amish values. The divorce, a turning point. Matt's recent divorce serves as the catalyst for his participation in Suddenly Amish. The show handles this personal crisis with restraint, avoiding sensationalism or dramatic revelation. Matt himself discusses the divorce with measured language, acknowledging its emotional toll without assigning blame or expressing bitterness toward his ex-partner. What emerges from Matt's careful descriptions is someone who experiences divorce not primarily as interpersonal betrayal, but as structural failure. For individuals whose identity centers on being reliable providers and stable family anchors, marital dissolution represents more than relationship loss. It constitutes ontological destabilization. When the structure collapses, the self fractures. Matt's language reveals internalized responsibility for the marriage's end. He does not externalize blame or construct narratives of victimization. Instead, he turns critical attention inward, questioning whether his approach to relationships, work-life balance, and emotional availability contributed to the breakdown. This self-examination creates psychological burden, but also opens pathways toward genuine growth. Fatherhood as identity core. Throughout Suddenly Amish, fatherhood emerges as Matt's primary identity anchor. His child, whose privacy the show respectfully protects, functions as Matt's moral compass and decision-making framework. Unlike participants who frame the experiment through personal growth or self-discovery, Matt consistently evaluates experiences through their potential impact on his parenting and the values he models. Matt's approach to fatherhood emphasizes structure, stability, and moral example over emotional expression or friendship-based parenting. He views his role not sentimentally but functionally, as providing a reliable foundation, consistent values, and predictable presence. This framework explains his attraction to Amish community models, which prioritize intergenerational continuity and clearly defined family roles over individualistic self-actualization. In confessional interviews, Matt frequently references imagined conversations with his child, asking himself, "What would I want my kid to see me choosing?" This internal dialogue reveals how fatherhood operates psychologically as both a moral anchor and a source of accountability. His child becomes the imagined witness whose potential judgment shapes current behavior, a powerful motivational force for someone rebuilding after perceived failure. Emotional and psychological state entering the experiment contained affect and emotional regulation. When Matt first appears on screen, viewers encounter someone demonstrating what psychologists term contained affect, the ability to regulate emotional expression even under significant internal distress. He does not display overt anger, dramatic sadness, or bitter cynicism. Instead, his demeanor remains calm, measured, and carefully controlled. This emotional containment serves important protective functions. It prevents psychological collapse under the weight of recent upheaval. It maintains parental stability for his child during a chaotic transition. It preserves masculine composure in unfamiliar social situations where vulnerability might feel dangerous. However, emotional containment also creates costs. Feelings that remain unprocessed do not disappear. They simply await expression through indirect channels. Matt's participation in Suddenly Amish can be understood partly as a delayed grief response. Rather than mourning directly through therapy, social support, or emotional disclosure, he seeks an external system to hold him together while grief remains largely unarticulated. Core emotional themes. Several interconnected emotional themes define Matt's psychological landscape as the experiment begins. Desire for structure after chaos. Divorce has introduced radical uncertainty into Matt's previously ordered existence. The predictable rhythms of married family life, shared routines, coordinated schedules, unified household have been replaced by co-parenting logistics, separate residences, and ambiguous social identity. This uncertainty generates persistent anxiety about his capacity to provide a stable foundation for his child. Fear of ongoing instability. Matt's concern extends beyond immediate discomfort to long-term consequences. He worries that instability in his own life will inevitably affect his child's development, security, and future relationships. This fear drives his search for frameworks that promise sustainable order rather than temporary relief. Guilt and internalized failure. Rather than externalizing responsibility for his divorce, Matt demonstrates high internal locus of control, the tendency to attribute outcomes to personal choices rather than external circumstances. While this orientation can support personal growth, it also generates significant guilt and self-blame. Matt carries the weight of perceived failure, questioning whether different choices might have preserved his marriage. Doubt about modern independence. Matt articulates something many divorced fathers experience, but rarely voice publicly. Modern culture's emphasis on independence can intensify emotional isolation. The valorization of self-sufficiency, the absence of communal accountability structures, and the privatization of family struggles all contribute to feelings of disconnection. This recognition fuels Matt's attraction to Amish communal living, where shared responsibility and collective support replace individualistic isolation. Longing for accountability and routine. In the absence of marriage's built-in accountability, Matt seeks external structures to maintain discipline and direction. He recognizes that personal motivation alone may prove insufficient during difficult periods. Amish life, with its rigid schedules, clear expectations, and community oversight, offers the accountability framework he craves. Why Matt joined Suddenly Amish. Motivations and goals practical rather than performative. Matt's decision to participate in Suddenly Amish stands in marked contrast to typical reality television motivations. He is not seeking fame or public recognition, novel experiences for their own sake, escape from responsibility, dramatic personal reinvention, validation or external approval. Instead, Matt approaches the experiment with practical intentionality. He hopes Amish immersion might offer spiritual reset grounded in routine. Matt seeks spirituality tied to daily practice rather than emotional peak experiences. He is drawn to how Amish faith integrates seamlessly into work, meals, and family rhythms rather than existing as a separate Sunday observance. Model for disciplined family structure. Observing how Amish families maintain cohesion across generations, transmit values effectively, and create predictable environments for children appeals to Matt's desire to improve his own parenting framework. Emotional clarity through simplicity. The absence of digital distraction, consumer choice overload, and constant decision-making promises cognitive relief. Matt recognizes that reducing external complexity might create space for internal clarity. Community-based accountability. Rather than relying solely on personal willpower, Matt is attracted to systems where behavior expectations come from collective values rather than individual motivation alone. Admiration for Amish values. Matt expresses genuine admiration for several specific Amish cultural elements. Family cohesion. The prioritization of family unity over individual preference. Moral clarity. Shared ethical frameworks that reduce ambiguity. Collective responsibility. Community members actively supporting one another's well-being. Work ethic. Labor valued for necessity and contribution rather than status or wealth. Humility. Cultural emphasis on modesty over self-promotion. These values resonate with Matt not as exotic alternatives, but as intensified versions of principles he already holds. His attraction to Amish life stems from recognition rather than discovery. He sees amplified versions of beliefs he already maintains, but feels modern culture has diluted. Matt's adaptation to Amish life. Early episode smooth initial transition. From the earliest episodes, Matt adapts more successfully than most participants. While others struggle with culture shock, physical demands, or authority structures, Matt moves into Amish routines with relative ease. This smooth adaptation reflects several factors. Comfort with physical labor. Matt takes to manual work without complaint. Unlike participants who romanticize farm life or resist its physical demands, Matt finds genuine satisfaction in repetitive, purposeful labor. The work does not exhaust him so much as center him, providing external structure that quiets internal turbulence. Respect for authority and instruction. When Amish elders provide direction or correction, Matt responds with immediate compliance and genuine deference. This willingness to submit to external authority contrasts sharply with his previous life, which likely rewarded independence and self-direction. The shift reveals someone actively seeking guidance rather than defending autonomy. Appreciation for structured schedules, early mornings, fixed meal times, and predictable daily rhythms provide relief from decision fatigue. Matt appreciates knowing what is expected and when, finding comfort in reduced ambiguity. Willingness to learn without resistance. Matt approaches unfamiliar tasks, practices, and social norms with genuine curiosity rather than defensiveness. He asks questions, observes carefully, and implements instruction without requiring extensive explanation or justification. Episode 1. Arrival without performance. Matt's first episode establishes essential character traits. While other participants announce expectations, express excitement, or voice apprehension, Matt listens. His posture remains physically reserved. His speech stays economical. This restraint signals guardedness born from recent emotional wounds. Assessment of whether he belongs anywhere. Fear of exposure as failed or inadequate. Humility functioning as self-protection. The Amish environment immediately strips away his former identity markers, job title, income, independence, and consumer choices. Matt accepts this loss without complaint, which reveals both emotional maturity and deep insecurity. He does not fight to maintain symbols of his previous life, because that life represents failure in his mind. Episode 2. Labor as Penance. In the second episode, Matt throws himself into physical work with near self-destructive intensity. He volunteers first for every task, works the longest hours, and rests the least. This behavior is not enthusiasm, it is atonement. Divorce guilt manifests through excessive physical endurance testing, reluctance to admit fatigue or limitation, silent comparison to Amish men's capabilities, subconscious question, if I work hard enough, can I earn moral forgiveness? The Amish elders begin watching Matt carefully, sensing that discipline without balance can become another form of ego or self-punishment rather than healthy integration. They recognize someone using labor as a substitute for emotional processing. Episode 3. Authority and Submission. When corrected by Amish authority figures in Episode 3, Matt responds with immediate compliance, but careful observation reveals deeper dynamics. His eyes show not just respect, but fear of being judged unworthy again. This response stems from divorce trauma, where correction may have preceded relationship collapse. This episode quietly interrogates modern versus Amish masculinity. Matt's previous life rewarded independence and self-direction. Amish life rewards submission to community authority and tradition. The tension between these frameworks creates internal conflict. In confessional interviews, Matt admits significant revelations. He no longer trusts his own judgment after divorce. External authority feels safer than self-trust. He questions whether his former understanding of manhood was incomplete. This marks Matt's first major psychological pivot, moving from defending his previous identity to questioning its adequacy. Spiritual engagement and faith development. Faith without performance. One of Matt's most authentic character elements is his approach to spiritual matters. Unlike typical reality television redemption arcs that feature dramatic conversion moments, tearful revelations, or performative certainty, Matt's faith journey unfolds quietly and hesitantly. Matt does not quote scripture excessively, claim divine revelation or certainty, use faith language to judge others, perform spirituality for cameras, seek emotional catharsis through religion. Instead, he listens more than speaks during religious instruction, asks elders about doubt, grace, and forgiveness, admits confusion and uncertainty openly, treats faith as a framework rather than a destination, values behavioral alignment over belief intensity. Episode 4. Faith without certainty. Episode 4 specifically addresses Matt's spiritual curiosity. Unlike stereotypical reality television faith narratives, Matt does not claim sudden enlightenment. Instead, he asks quiet questions about doubt and grace, questions that reveal someone seeking ethical alignment rather than emotional transcendence. His spirituality remains relational rather than ideological. Matt is drawn to faith as shared communal practice, daily discipline rather than a weekly event, space where uncertainty is permitted, a behavioral framework rather than a belief system. This approach proves revolutionary for someone whose prior life demanded certainty in work, marriage, and provision. Amish faith models allow Matt to exist without definitive answers, a permission he has never granted himself. Faith as an accountability structure. For Matt, faith functions primarily as an accountability mechanism rather than a mystical experience. He connects Amish religious teachings to his desire to be a better father and role model. The spiritual practices appeal not because they promise salvation or transcendence, but because they provide daily discipline and external motivation for ethical behavior. This pragmatic engagement protects Matt from potential disillusionment. By treating faith as a tool rather than a promise, he avoids investing expectations that might lead to disappointment. His faith deepens throughout the season, but remains reflective and questioning rather than dogmatic or absolute. Relationships within the cast. Matt as stabilizing for social positioning and emotional economy. Within the group dynamics of Suddenly Amish, Matt occupies a distinctive social position. He does not dominate conversations, initiate conflicts, or seek attention. Instead, he functions as an emotional stabilizer, a participant others turn to during moments of crisis or confusion. Matt's relational patterns include rarely escalating existing conflicts, listening actively more than speaking, responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively, grounding conversations in practical reality, offering perspective without imposing judgment. This stabilizer role reinforces Matt's identity as someone who is accustomed to being the adult in the room, even when he himself is struggling internally. The role provides purpose and structure, but also limits vulnerability, as Matt maintains a helper position rather than revealing his own needs. Interactions with different participant types. With younger participants, Judah, Esmeralda Matt acts as a grounding presence for participants experiencing more dramatic culture shock or rebellion. He offers practical advice without preaching. He models emotional restraint without criticizing their expressiveness, and he provides steadiness that younger cast members find reassuring. With idealists, Billy Joe, when interacting with participants who romanticize Amish life or express unrealistic conversion expectations, Matt balances respect for their passion with gentle questioning of sustainability. He does not dismiss their enthusiasm, but introduces practical considerations they may overlook. With authority figures, Matt demonstrates consistent deference to Amish hosts and elders without losing self-respect. He submits to their instruction willingly while maintaining personal dignity, a balance other participants struggle to achieve. Matt as emotional middle ground. Matt becomes the bridge between competing caste dynamics. Romantic idealism versus practical realism. Rebellion versus submission. Culture shock versus cultural appreciation. Individual identity versus communal belonging. He is the participant most likely to be trusted by both fellow cast members and Amish hosts, precisely because he occupies this middle territory. His grounded approach earns respect from people with vastly different perspectives. Contrast with other participants. Matt's arc gains clarity when contrasted with fellow participants. Judah. Where Judah rebels against structure and authority, Matt submits and seeks guidance. Judah's journey centers on asserting independence. Matt centers on accepting accountability. Kendra. While Kendra focuses on deep introspection and self-discovery, Matt emphasizes integration and practical application. Kendra looks inward. Matt looks toward behavioral change. Billy Joe. Where Billy Joe idealizes and romanticizes Amish life, Matt evaluates it pragmatically. Billy Joe seeks escape. Matt seeks tools for improvement. These contrasts emphasize Matt's distinctive realism. He neither romanticizes nor dismisses Amish culture. He audits it for applicable principles. He internal conflicts and psychological tensions. Episode 5, Fatherhood in Absence. Episode 5 marks a vulnerable turning point where Matt speaks more openly about his child. He frames the Amish experiment explicitly not as escape, but as rehearsal, testing values and practices he might implement in his actual parenting. Matt articulates critical questions. What kind of man am I modeling for my child? What values will endure when I'm not physically present? How do I provide stability across two households? This episode cements fatherhood as Matt's organizing principle. Every other element, faith, labor, community, gets filtered through its usefulness to that primary role. Unlike other participants seeking personal transformation, Matt seeks parenting transformation. Episode 6, Conflict Avoidance Exposed. Episode 6 subtly reveals Matt's core limitation. He equates interpersonal conflict with failure. When tensions arise among cast members, Matt consistently withdraws, deflects, or attempts to smooth over disagreements without addressing underlying issues. This conflict avoidance stems directly from divorce experience, where escalating disagreements likely preceded relationship collapse. Matt has internalized the belief that any conflict signals impending failure, a psychological association that limits his capacity for healthy confrontation. The Amish elders gently challenge this pattern, reminding Matt that peace without truth remains fragile. They model how disagreement can strengthen rather than destroy relationships when approached honestly and respectfully. This teaching begins shifting Matt's understanding, though actual behavioral change requires more time. Strengths of Matt's emotional regulation. De-escalates group tensions effectively. Remains calm under pressure. Models emotional maturity for younger participants. Costs of overregulation. Suppresses legitimate anger and frustration. Avoids necessary confrontations. Internalizes others' problems as personal responsibility. Takes responsibility for mistakes that aren't his. Deflects praise and positive feedback. Withdraws when assertiveness would be healthier. The permanence question. Central tension. As the season progresses, Matt confronts his experiment's fundamental limitation. Amish life demands totality. There is no partial conversion, no selective adoption, no hybrid existence. The culture requires complete commitment, abandoning modern systems, severing ties with non-Amish society, and accepting communal authority across all life domains. As a modern father navigating co-parenting responsibilities, Matt recognizes this impossibility. His child's needs, healthcare, education, legal protections, and relationship with both parents cannot be reconciled with complete separation from contemporary society. Choosing full Amish conversion would mean abandoning parental responsibilities he considers sacred. This realization creates Matt's deepest internal conflict. Amish life offers peace, clarity, and structure, but not flexibility. It provides answers, but demands abandoning his primary calling. Episode 7, Belonging Without Erasure. Episode 7 represents Matt's healthiest psychological integration. This is when he stops trying and starts being. The shift is subtle but profound. Previous pattern: working excessively, apologizing frequently, seeking constant approval, hiding vulnerability behind humility. Integrated pattern: working steadily without overcompensation, speaking confidently without defensiveness, listening while also contributing, practicing authentic rather than performative humility. Matt reaches his most balanced state, no longer hiding behind overcompliance, but genuinely participating as himself. He has stopped attempting to earn worth through perfect behavior and begun accepting inherent value. Episode 8 and season conclusion: integration over conversion, the clarity that comes without conversion. In the final episode, Matt reaches profound recognition. The Amish life has not replaced his old self, it has clarified it. He does not express desire for full conversion. Instead, he articulates refined intention, implementing slower, more deliberate living rhythms, establishing clear priority hierarchies, treating faith as a daily discipline rather than an occasional event, choosing community involvement intentionally, reducing unnecessary complexity and distraction. Matt leaves suddenly Amish without bitterness, disappointment, or a sense of failure. This outcome is rare in reality television, where participants typically either claim dramatic transformation or express disillusionment. What Matt takes home: key learnings. By the series' conclusion, Matt's journey crystallizes around several integrated insights. Structure can be adopted without total withdrawal. Matt recognizes that Amish structural principles, routine, discipline, and community accountability can be implemented within modern life. Complete cultural conversion is unnecessary for adopting beneficial practices. Community does not require uniformity. Meaningful connection and mutual support do not demand identical beliefs, lifestyles, or values. Matt can seek community intentionally without requiring Amish-level cultural homogeneity. Stability begins internally, not culturally. External structure provides support, but sustainable stability requires internal alignment between values and behavior. Changing cultures without changing core patterns would ultimately fail. Fatherhood remains primary calling. No cultural framework, spiritual practice, or lifestyle change supersedes Matt's fundamental responsibility to his child. All other considerations must align with rather than compete against that priority. Departure without disillusionment. Matt's departure from the Amish community lacks the dramatic emotional displays typical of reality television conclusions. There are no tearful transformation montages, no grand declarations of rebirth, and no promises to return. Instead, Matt leaves with quiet clarity. He departs having gained reinforced core values, refined personal priorities, integrated practical lessons, deepened spiritual curiosity, improved self-understanding. Critically, Matt does not reject Amish life or diminish its value. He simply recognizes its incompatibility with his specific circumstances. This mature discernment, admiring something while acknowledging it is not for you, demonstrates psychological health rarely seen in reality programming. Psychological outcomes and post-show trajectory positive integrations Matt likely carries forward. Based on behavioral patterns observed throughout the season and established psychological research on post-crisis growth, Matt's likely positive outcomes include improved emotional regulation. While Matt demonstrated strong regulation skills entering the experiment, his time with the Amish helped him distinguish between healthy containment and unhealthy suppression. He learned when vulnerability serves connection rather than threatening it. Stronger parental boundaries. Observing Amish family structures helped Matt clarify appropriate parental authority, consistency, and values transmission. He gained concrete models for implementing structure without rigidity. Reduced attachment to status, experiencing life without career identity, consumer markers, or social status helps Matt maintain a healthier perspective on what truly matters versus what culture artificially prioritizes. Increased tolerance for uncertainty. Amish faith practices that permit doubt and questions help Matt accept that not all life questions require immediate answers. Some tensions must simply be lived with rather than resolved. Enhanced community intentionality. Rather than passively accepting modern isolation, Matt learned to actively seek and build community connections aligned with his values. Ongoing challenges. The experiment does not fix Matt, it equips him with new tools while leaving some challenges unresolved. Continued conflict avoidance. Matt's tendency to withdraw from confrontation rather than engage constructively will likely persist without deliberate effort and possibly therapeutic support. Risk of emotional suppression. His default pattern of containing difficult emotions rather than processing them may resurface during future stresses. Difficulty asserting personal needs. Matt's habitual prioritization of others' needs over his own can lead to resentment and burnout if unchecked. Residual divorce guilt. Deep internalized responsibility for marriage failure may continue affecting his self-image and future relationship patterns. Plausible future trajectory. Matt's most realistic post-show life involves values transplantation rather than dramatic lifestyle change. Residential choices, likely relocating closer to his child to maximize parenting time and provide a more stable presence across both households. Career adjustments, prioritizing work that aligns with core values rather than maximizing income or status. Possibly choosing employment with clearer boundaries between work and personal life. Spiritual practice, maintaining some form of daily spiritual routine, whether prayer, meditation, or reflection, without requiring formal religious affiliation or community membership. Community building, intentionally choosing social connections and community involvement rather than accepting default isolation. Possibly seeking faith communities, parenting groups, or service organizations. Romantic relationships, unlikely to rush into new romantic partnerships. When Matt does pursue a relationship, he will likely prioritize emotional safety, shared values, and parenting compatibility over chemistry or attraction alone. Simplified living, implementing practical simplicity principles, reduced consumption, less digital distraction, more deliberate time allocation, without attempting wholesale rejection of modern convenience. Matt's narrative function and thematic significance. Why Matt matters to Suddenly Amish. From a storytelling perspective, Matt serves crucial functions that elevate Suddenly Amish beyond typical reality television. Emotional anchor. While other participants provide conflict, drama, or idealism, Matt grounds the series in authentic human struggle. His presence reassures viewers that the experiment facilitates genuine growth rather than mere entertainment spectacle. Moral baseline. Matt establishes ethical standards against which other participants' choices can be measured. His consistent integrity, parental focus, and humble approach create a reference point for evaluating less grounded behavior. Proof of concept. Matt demonstrates that cultural immersion can produce meaningful personal development even without dramatic conversion or transformation. His moderate, integrated approach validates the experiment's premise while avoiding unrealistic expectations. Credibility. Without Matt, Suddenly Amish risks becoming voyeuristic, privileged moderns temporarily playing at traditional life before returning to comfort. Matt's genuine need, respectful engagement, and practical application lend the series authenticity and depth. Central themes Matt's arc illuminates. Growth without spectacle. Matt proves that meaningful personal development does not require theatrical displays, emotional breakdowns, or dramatic revelations. Quiet, incremental change can be equally profound. Healing through structure. For individuals experiencing chaos, external structure can provide essential scaffolding for internal reconstruction. Routine, accountability, and clear expectations facilitate rather than inhibit growth. Masculine vulnerability. Matt models how men can acknowledge struggle, seek help, and demonstrate humility without sacrificing dignity or strength. His contained emotional style proves compatible with genuine vulnerability. Faith without certainty. Authentic spirituality can embrace doubt, questions, and uncertainty rather than requiring absolute conviction. Matt's hesitant faith journey appears more believable than typical conversion narratives. Integration over transformation. Sustainable change involves incorporating new insights into existing identity rather than completely replacing former self. Matt's integrative approach proves more realistic than transformative fantasies. Responsible fatherhood. Matt demonstrates how parental commitment can and should shape all life decisions without becoming oppressive or self-sacrificing. His child-centered decision-making reflects healthy rather than dysfunctional priorities. Viewer response and cultural resonance. Why audiences connect with Matt. Viewer response to Matt tends toward deep empathy rather than sensational fascination. Audiences recognize authentic struggle. Matt's post-divorce rebuilding resonates with anyone navigating loss, failure, or unexpected life disruption. His experience feels universal rather than exceptional. Quiet strength. In a culture that often equates masculinity with dominance or emotional stoicism with strength, Matt models alternative masculine expression, humble, reflective, service-orientated. Parental devotion. His unwavering commitment to his child despite personal struggle appeals to viewers who value family responsibility over self-interest. Realistic growth. Unlike participants who claim immediate transformation, Matt's gradual, incomplete progress feels believable and achievable to ordinary viewers. Matt as counter-stereotype. Matt challenges several pervasive reality television and cultural stereotypes. Against toxic masculinity, Matt demonstrates masculinity without dominance, aggression, or emotional suppression. His strength manifests through restraint, humility, and service. Against the broken man, while Matt is hurting, he is not destroyed. He maintains dignity, purpose, and forward movement despite pain, countering narratives that portray divorced men as volatile or collapsed. Against the seeker, Matt is not searching for exotic experiences, spiritual highs, or identity transformation. His grounded, practical seeking contrasts with stereotypical reality show, finding yourself narratives. Against instant transformation, Matt's gradual, partial integration challenges cultural myths about sudden change, dramatic conversion, or complete personal reinvention. Conclusion: Matt's quiet triumph. Matt's journey through Suddenly Amish represents something increasingly rare in contemporary media, a story about rebuilding rather than escaping, integrating rather than transforming, and accepting rather than achieving. He enters the experiment as a man carrying internalized shame about what he couldn't hold together: his marriage, his nuclear family, his assumed future. He leaves as someone who understands that stability is not perfection, structure is not rigidity, and faith is not certainty. Most importantly, Matt discovers that he does not need to become someone else to be the father he wants to be. The Amish did not provide answers so much as clarity about questions he was already asking himself. Their culture did not fix him. It helped him recognize what within himself was already worth building upon. The alignment Matt achieves by season's end is not between his modern life and Amish culture, but between who he is, who he was, and who his child will one day see. That internal coherence, not external cultural conformity, represents his genuine achievement. In a reality television landscape dominated by extremes, Matt stands as a testament to the power of moderation. His arc affirms that growth does not require spectacle, healing does not require theatrics, and masculinity does not require dominance. Sometimes the bravest thing a man can do is admit he is struggling, seek help humbly, learn openly, and continue showing up for the people who depend on him. That is the quiet triumph of Matt's story, and what makes him the moral center of Suddenly Amish.